Okay, so this is a video tutorial on how to use the hunters area on the website. So basically, you want to cover, make sure you understand the instructions and the basic things to know. So make sure to read this. It's quite important to understand how the website functions and how, like, these little columns like MPR percentage, like what it means, etc. So basically, once you understand that, you have a bunch of filters on this area, so you can use these filters or you can make your own filters and adjust the parameters to what you feel suits you. You'll see there's quite a lot of filters to go by. You can adjust the filters. I'll show you some methods via this video tutorial of what you can also do. Now, the first things first is make sure you're on the latest update. So you can see 603 and it updates roughly every 10 minutes. So if you refresh the page, you might be on the next update. So just make sure you're on the latest data. So you can see if we refreshed, we're on the next update. Now we're on the latest data. The first thing you'll understand with this is you can press the headers. If you press the headers, you can sort it by high to low. So you can see it puts the price high to low. Press it again, it will sort it low to high. So the first method that you can actually do within this is you now know that every minimum buy price as of right now is 1.8k of a hunter, okay? Now if you go in game and you were to put gold rare, hunter, 1,800, 15 million, because you're going to use this to refresh every time by lowering it down. If you were to search and then back out, search again, back out, and just keep doing that until one pops up, you know you can snipe any card at 1.8 because that was the minimum recommended buy price on the website. Now this is probably one of the least beneficial methods to be doing, but you see what I mean by this, right? You can sit there trying to snipe them because you know every card that pops up will be good at that buy price. I don't really recommend doing this because you see it's really hard to get deals, that you got to be really quick. Typically if you're going to do that, I'd say probably go onto the web app because it's a little bit harder to snipe on console. Now second method, because that one is just a really basic understanding filter that you can do, is if you go gold rare, hunter, and again the parameters I'm going to explain here, you can change these to what suits you at real time because this will obviously change as the year goes by. So you put 4,000 maximum bid price, 15 million maximum buy now. Again, it's a baseline. You can change this down or you can try your own filters, but this is what I've been using as of right now. Gold rare, hunter, 4,000 and 15 million. The reason for the 15 million is you're going to use this to refresh every time by changing it every time you search, okay? First search though, you're going to search the market. Now you're going to press on the first card, just hover over buy it now. By doing this, you're going to realise every time you click on a card now, you're going to be hovering over buy it now. It just takes one less step to be able to snipe a card now you've done that. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll towards the 58th minute, because that's typically where the brand new cards have been listed. Again, it may take up to about 80 pages to get there, depending on the time of the day you do it. If there's too many pages, that's where you're going to lower the maximum bid price down from 4,000, put it down to say 3,500. Everyone will have their own personal preference as to the filter. I'm just giving you a baseline to work with. I basically go towards the 59th minute. Again, don't go too quickly because it's not a huge rush with this. Typically, you'll have a little bit of time to actually think. I know on the other filter I just explained, you have to be super quick. This isn't really like that. This is probably a lot more passive. Once you do, depending on the time of the day you're doing this, if you're doing it into the late evenings or early hours of the morning UK time, you normally have about 30 to 40 seconds at least, sometimes up to 2 or 3 minutes, to actually sit there and buy the cards. So you don't have to be going at the speed of light to snipe cards, basically. I basically go towards the 58th or 59th minute because the time of recording this video, it's currently content time, so the most users are on the game, which means probably going to have a lot of people sniping chemistry style cards because a lot of people trade with these methods. But whilst you're obviously searching the market, you're going to keep the website up with a table in front of you because you're going to be looking player prices up. But basically get towards the 59th minute, we're nearly there. You can see there's quite a lot of pages right now, but that's because obviously it's content time, like I said. This is going to be where the most supply is right now. If it's consistently like this when you're using the filter at the time, then like I said, lower the maximum price down until maybe it's a little bit less results and it doesn't take as long, okay? Now you're at the 58th, 59th minute. You're basically going to scroll across all these players and it kind of takes a bit of common sense, but if you don't know any of the cards off the get-go, what you do is you keep the website up, so you would basically look like this, and you'd search all these names in. So Xavi Simons, okay, 3,700, 4,400 sell, and that buy price was 3,200, okay? So I can buy that card, and you can see I didn't have to be quick with this. So that's like a perfect example of how easy this method is, okay? And you just scroll across and scroll across and scroll across and check any card that you think might be a buy. Again, we've gone back to the 57th minute for some reason, so just keep going back ahead. One other little tip with doing this is don't buy the same player repeatedly, okay? Try to stick to buying maybe one or two of each player, because you don't want to buy all your coins into one player, because sometimes some cards have more supply, okay? Another example that's perfect. 5,300 buy price, he's on the market for 5,000 the Hunter. So I can buy the card. You can see you don't have to be quick with this, right? You're going to see there's a multiple occurrences, so another one for 3,000, I can buy it. This is really how simple this method is. You just look all these cards up. But like I said, don't buy too many of the same player, because some players have more supply than demand, meaning that you obviously can't sell. It means that you might have to lower the prices down a bit, or they might take longer to sell, right? So try to get a large variety of players when you're doing this. But you can see that was at the buy price, so we can buy it. It really is this simple though, okay? So you can do that and accumulate a bunch of different players. So hopefully you'd end up with about 40 to 50 different players. Like, I wouldn't buy too many more Xavi Simons until these ones sell, because I don't want to fill up my whole transfer list with one player, right? You can see here I bought quite a few Paulinias, and I've ended up being stuck with him because he's got more supply than demand. But basically what you do, after you bought a bunch of players, again you'll have a bunch of different names like I've been reiterating. You look them back up for the sell prices. You can see the sell price recommended right now is 4,100. So you basically do that with every card, right? You just basically list them up for the recommended sell price for 1 hour when you're online. If you're going offline, do 12 hours. If they fail to sell, say you're doing 1 hour listings, try to fill your whole transfer list up with cards if you can actually afford to do that. But if they don't sell after say 1 or 2 hours, or if they fail to sell, you can lower them by 1 increment and try to sell them like that, because that will be a situation where maybe the card has more supply than demand, right? You typically won't lose from the recommended buy prices a lot of the time. Sometimes you might need to break even with a certain card because maybe they just don't sell very well with a chem star. But the vast majority of players do sell really well, man. So again, all you do is you search up Xavi Simons. You can see the recommended sell price is 4.4 right now. It looks like he's been crashing a little bit because he was averaging 3.5 and he's down to 3. So that can be a little bit of a concerning factor, but typically they'll fluctuate back up. I'd always try the recommended sell price firstly. So it was 4,400. Basically, that's all you do, right? Again, I wouldn't buy any more Xavi Simons now because I have 2 of them. I tried to get a variety of different players. That's just like there's been past situations where a user has bought like 25 of the same player and they're wondering why they can't sell. The issue with that, and I'll explain to you right now why that happens. If you look at Guimarães, for example, as of right now, you can see the average price of the card is about, let's just say it's about 3,700, 3,600 roughly, yeah? Or 3,500. Now with a Shadow, he doesn't have as big of a gap as the standard Shadow card is, or a Hunter, sorry. He might actually have an alright gap. No, he doesn't really. You can see they're basically the same price right now. So this is a situation where the demand is not as high as the supply, sorry. So basically if people aren't buying it with the chem star, the card doesn't sell as well, and you'll learn to avoid that player in the future. But that's basically how this method works. There's one more method I'm going to explain within it though. But you can see here, a lot of these are with Hunters, right? I think the Modric was with a Hunter. The Vitinhas are with Hunters, the Maddisons with Hunters, the Watkins are with Hunters. All via that method I've just explained there. Now the other method that you can do is you can go back onto the website. So if we go back to the website now. And if you press the target buy price again to filter it high by low. And you scroll down to cards say around, I like to do the cards between 5 to 10k roughly. So you basically, the comparison you're doing here, I'm going to zoom in. you can see the target buy price of a hunter is 10,000. You're looking to see if the current market price without the chemistry style is either the same, and look at the average too. The average is quite an important factor because that means the card's actually sitting for that price a lot of the time. So an example right now is Alexander a pop. 9,800 of a hunter is the recommended buy price. You can see the average price of the card is 10,000 right now and 9,900. So if we go search this individual player into the game, again, you'd only snipe 1 or 2 of them until you know they sell well. Once they sell, you can obviously buy another 2. Just gone past her. So you can see there. Firstly, you're going to check how much she is average price in game without the chem star. You can see she's really supplied at 10,000 right now. 9,900. Just making sure something. Yep, we're fine there. So now that you know that she's averaging this price quite easily, right? The chances are, if someone's been using her in their team, if they have a chemistry style attached to their card, they're going to forget that they added that chemistry style, and they're going to sell their pop with the hunter chemistry style for the same price as the lowest buy it now to sell the card quickly. So you sit here like this, and you're basically trying to snipe one with a hunter. This is another method to get deals, and you don't really need to be that quick because you're going by player. Again, some cards might not pop up as well as the others, so if it doesn't pop up after, say, a minute or 2, then move on to the next player via the table and see if there's any deals there. I'm not going to sit here all day doing this because I'm recording this all uncut, but this is basically what you can do, okay? We'll do one more example to how this method works there. So you could continue to scroll down and look for another player. So again, an example where I wouldn't be looking right now, you can see the Musa Diaby 8,900 of a hunter is the recommended buy. You can see he's quite inflated in the real time right now. His current market price is 9.3 and averaging about 9,700. So because you see that, you know the chances are right now, as of the time of recording, he isn't going to be very good to be sniping the hunter because he's not really near that without the chemistry style, let alone with the chem style. So you just go through and you're looking for cards that kind of match the average prices roughly. Try to pick players that you actually like. Maybe Chloe Kelly will be a good one, right? 8,100. Current market price 7.5, averaging 8.1. So you go back in game. And again, Chloe Kelly. A little bit of menu lag. Recommended buy price of a hunter was 8.1. You can see there's plenty of supply for 8.1k. Now what you can do, if there's only one above the hour, then you can sit on the filter and compare price. If there's more than one above the hour, then just lower the maximum buy now down or put the chemistry style to hunter and snipe that way. But because there's only one above the hour right now, we can snipe like this. Flick your right analog stick to the left. I don't think I mentioned this on the first one. Obviously hover over by it now because every time you click on the card, you'll be like that. Now anytime you see a hunter chemistry style appear, you know you can buy the card. So you're going to see they're popping up loads. There's a very likely chance that a Chloe Kelly of a hunter will appear for 8.1k like this. Again, when I'm recording this like all uncut, I'm not trying to sit here for ages showing you guys this. I'll give this like 30 seconds so you can see straight away one popped up, and we got it straight away. So that's one method to getting these deals, right? You could buy maybe like 2 or 3 of this maximum and then go to the next player. Once you buy a couple, you can then list them on the market for the recommended sell. So we go back to the website. Type in Chloe Kelly, and the recommended sell is 9.5 with a hunter. So all we're going to do is list the card. Because I'm going to be online, I'm going to list it for 9,500 for 1 hour. And then if it doesn't sell after say 2 or 3 attempts, I'll lower it by 1 denomination down and try again until it eventually sells. And I'll try that every couple of hours, right? You'll typically won't have to lose coins. If any leftovers don't tend to sell, and it's been like over 12 hours, you can try to just break even after tax, and you'll learn to avoid that player in the future. But obviously this card I've only just got, I'm going to go for the target sell price minimum, right? If you do look them up in game, sometimes you can get a little bit more, but that's not really that time efficient to be sitting there individually searching every player. So I tend to just use the sell prices in most instances. But that's essentially how this method works. And that's basically how you do this, okay? A lot of these cards, like I said, are via this method. I either go through individually or I use the mass filter, so it's really easy and really laid back. You can see I had a St. Max and there's another one there, you know, I've sold one already for 6.1. But that's basically how this concept works. If you have any questions relating to this method or anything in general regarding the website, If you go to our Discord server, you can ask questions via general chat, or you can ask via subscriber chat or trade-in chat, wherever you want to ask, and I'll try to get back to you. Hopefully this has been helpful.